Good evening, Tottenham fans. So the manager merry-go-round has begun again. Spurs are looking to mutually let Igor Tudor go, and now they're looking at replacements. They're trying to get somebody in as a permanent. If that does not happen, they will go back to an interim basis. Now, the three names that keep popping up are Robbie Keane, Roberto Zerbi, and Adolf Hütter. I keep nearly saying Hitler for some reason, but it's Adolf Hütter. So I'm going to talk about those three managers. Will any of them save us? Are they capable of saving us? Or is it a foregone conclusion that it's nothing to do with the managers and it's maybe the players that need to be stepping up? Now, I'll talk a little bit about what Robbie Keane's been doing. I'll talk about a bit about Zerbi, and I'll introduce you into who Adolf Hütter is, because I didn't know who he was, so I had to do some research about him to see what kind of manager he is, what kind of style of play he plays, what he's done, what he's achieved. And I'll talk about the other two managers too. So I'll start with Zerbi, because we all recognise Zerbi the most as a manager out of all three of those players, managers. Obviously, we recognise Robbie Keane more as a player, but so Zerbi managed Brighton, and his style of play is very strong, high press, tactical, very fluent, really good to watch football. But he comes with attitude, I'd say. Like, he's very hot-headed. I think if somebody like Zerbi came in and he would shake things up, I think, if the players relate to him, he could keep us up. But if the players turn on him, then it could be even worse than it was in the beginning. Zerbi is one of the names that has strongly been linked recently, and I'm just not sure on him. I think you guys have to let me know in the comments with Zerbi, because he could be a top manager, but it doesn't take him long to lose his head. So we don't want another Conte on our hands, and that is for sure. Now, Robbie Keane hasn't been a manager for too long. I think he started coaching around 2018 when he retired. He was assistant manager a couple of times. I think assistant manager under Sam Allardyce at one point in the Championship. But his managerial experience so far is mainly in the Israeli league. He was Maccabi Tel Aviv. He won the league with them in the Israeli league, which is not bad considering there was another Maccabi, their rivals. I can't remember what they're actually called, but it's Maccabi something. And they were dominating the Israeli league. Robbie Keane comes in and wins the league. So that's quite impressive anyway. Then he was manager of, and he still is manager of, Ferencváros. We might remember them from the Europa League, who we beat in the Europa League that time. But it's a Hungarian league, and he's won that league already. And in both of those leagues, he's won cup competitions as well. So he's won 4 trophies altogether. But I just don't think he's that experienced yet to come into a really boiling pot of Tottenham Hotspur. It would be too much, I think, for him, and I just wouldn't recommend it to him more than anything, because his managerial career so far is doing really well. He's lots of people are scouting him now, looking at him, but for me, it's just not the right time for Robbie Keane right now. We can't be sentimental right now and say, oh, he's ex-Tottenham, he's going to save us. And we can't be doing that. The Israeli league and the Hungarian league is probably weaker than the Championship. So we have to take that into account. And he has to prove himself elsewhere, in my opinion. It'd be hard for him to come in and change things quickly as well, because he's got a certain style he wants to play. He does play attacking football though, which is good, but I just don't think it's the right time for Robbie Keane. You have to let me know in the comments, would you take Robbie Keane? I'll take Robbie Keane on a long-term basis. If we went down, definitely take Robbie Keane for a long-term basis. Help us to get back up and then, strengthen us in the Premier League. But for now, not Robbie Keane for me. I'd take Zerbi over Robbie Keane just because he's got more Premier League. Well, he's got Premier League experience as a manager, and he knows what it takes to win games. So, talking about the last one that we want to save us, and that's Adolf Hütter. I said it right that time. Adolf Hütter. His style of play is intense, high pressing, attacking football, fast-paced, dynamic, transition focused. His first stint was at Young Boys. They got their first Swiss title in 30 years under this guy, with playing exciting, high pressing, gegenpress style football, and got them the first title in 30 years. It was pretty impressive. He was at Frankfurt as well. He got them to Europa League semi-final, playing exciting, fast tempo football. Frankfurt fans absolutely loved his style of play. And on their day, they could beat anyone. So Frankfurt were very, very strong under this manager. He was also with Monaco, most recently, actually, up to 2025. Got them to second in the French league. So that's not bad either. And he parted ways with a mutual agreement, but he's still a free agent since 2025, I think. So, like, I don't know why anybody snapped him up. Like, no one's snapped him up. I've looked at his managerial history, and it's not bad. Like, it's pretty decent. He gets the biggest thing about him, and I've read it a lot, was he's known for improving teams quickly. And isn't that what we need? We need someone to come in and improve us very, very fast. We need someone to come in and really turn this around and real fast, because we've only got 8 games left, 8 games to save our season, and maybe this guy can do it. I'd like to see attacking, exciting football again, to be honest. Like, even if we went down, like, for me, I don't want us to go down playing not to lose. I want us to go down playing to win. Like, if we go into every single game trying to win games, then I'll be happy. I would be happy if we went down, but I'll be happy if we went down fighting rather than going down feeling like losers. Like, it's just not right. We shouldn't be going into home games against relegation rivals and playing 5 at the back and playing defensively and making sure we don't let in goals. And we should be pushing teams. No, we've got the players up front to cause problems. Well, I'd say our forward line is probably the weakest part of our team, but if we played more attacking football, we've got more of a chance of scoring, haven't we? You know, it's sad times at Spurs at the moment, but with 8 games to go, this is not impossible. This is not an impossible task, but we have to get this appointment right. This time we have to get it right, and that's why I don't think we should go for Robbie Keane, because it would be a risk. We can't risk this. We really can't. Zerbi would only be a risk if we had him long term. I think in the short term, he would do well. I think he would get the points on the board we'd need to survive at least. But I think in the long term, I think he'd lose his head, especially working with our board. You know, they won't back him and he'll end up walking out or something, or leaving, or getting sacked, or whatever. You know the story with Tottenham. It was always the same. Manager always ends up leaving in the end, even if they win a trophy. But the guy that looks good is Adolf Hütter, but you know, again, it could be another risk. We didn't know who Igor Tudor was, but Adolf Hütter has got more of a managerial experience than Tudor, in my opinion. He's done really well at every team he's been at. He's really got them fighting at the tops of leagues. So, and he improves teams quickly. So, logically, if you want to play better football, you want to play more attacking football, you want to go down fighting, you want to be improved quickly, then Adolf Hütter is your man. He'll be the guy to sort it out. Now, I'm not going to advocate that he should be signed, because I've literally learned about him today. There could be loads of stuff I don't know about him, like all the negatives that I don't know about him. That could, you know, he hasn't got a Premier League experience for a start. That's one negative already. So, but logically, just looking at the 3, Hütter could improve as quickly. But I still think Zerbi could improve as quickly too. I think Robbie Keane's more of a long-term thing if he was going to get Robbie Keane in. You guys are going to have to help me in the comments, because I don't know who saves this team, because these players don't seem to relate to anybody. Like, it doesn't matter what manager comes in. They just do their own thing. They jog back when they feel like it. They make mistakes. They get sent off. They're passing the ball off the pitch. As soon as anything goes against them, their heads drop. You know, they're in this run of form where they haven't won a league game in 2026, and they're just falling like a stone at the moment, and the confidence just drops as soon as we concede a goal. I was at the game, and I could see confidence drain out of these players. Every pass was getting harder and harder. The legs felt heavier. The players started hiding. You know, there's only 3 players on that pitch that done well, and that was Danso, Tell, and Archie Gray. And Archie Gray and Tell are only 20 years old each. And Danso is meant to be third choice centre back, and he looked like the best centre back on the day by far, by the way. So we need someone to come in and shake it up. We need to do something. Like, we've got to get it right. We've got a 3-week break. Whoever comes in is going to have 3 weeks with the players, which is, well, not all the players because they'll be going on international duty, but we need to do something, and we need to do it fast. I don't know who saves us, and I don't know what's going to happen, but it's not over till the fat lady sings. It really isn't. It's not over until it's over. So we can't give up yet, even though it feels like this is the end. It really does. But it's not. We've still got hope. But that's all we've got is hope. We haven't got anything concrete to get behind right now. Let's just hope whoever does come in is the right appointment and they actually save this team from going down. Let me know in the comments what you think of these 3 options. Would you take any of these 3? Or is there another manager that I haven't mentioned, like Harry Redknapp, Tim Sherwood, Ryan Mason, anybody like that? Would you rather get them in? Thank you for watching. Come on, you Spurs.